and welcome back to my kitchen. So today we're making chicken stir fry. So we're making a stir fry, but we're using chicken as the protein, right? I'm sort of using a lot of vegetables that I need to be eating right now because I've really been very bad during this lockdown. So each and every single one of the vegetables that you're going to see me using on the stir fry is just one of those things that's just left over in the fridge. And that's what's wonderful about stir frying, right? You can take your best like the best vegetables that you like and pair it up with a protein that you like, or even just have a vegetarian stir fry. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just how you're going to accessorize it or sauce it that is going to make all the difference. Now I'm going to get started with the chicken. Just have a look here. So first I'm going to prepare my chicken. As you can see, I've got 2 chicken breasts over here. And if your chicken breast is a bit thick, like it normally comes out, what I would really strongly advise that you do is to cut it in half. So normally I would say you must take away the little fillet on the side, but for what we're going to do here, it really isn't going to make much of a difference because you're going to cut your chicken into strips anyway, right? So as you can see there, we've just done, I think what they call the butterfly cut. Yeah, there. As you can see, automatically you've got more chicken breast. So instead of 1, you've got 2 chicken breasts, which is sort of, could make a stir fry that could feed, I think, about 2 hungry people, which is actually quite self-respecting. And then the other thing you're going to need to do is to cut the strips, right? But I want you to cut them thin. For obvious reasons, because if you have thin strips, you're going to be able to brown them very quickly and they're going to stay soft. Because the biggest issue that I have with chicken breasts is that they get all rubbery and funny if you cook them for too long. And with the stir frying method, you want your chicken to be soft but crispy as well, which means that it's also going to brown very quickly because I like that. So let's cut the strips and then I will show you the next step. Okay, so next in line, as you can see, I've chopped up the chicken strips, or I've cut the chicken strips. I don't know what's happening to me, just so tired. And then I've just got them in a little bowl, and in here I've got half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. I think it's called baking soda. Yes, that's the more normal name. This is going to help you to soften the chicken strips. Now, I think the word that they use for softening chicken is called velveting, and this is one of the many velveting processes, but this is the one that I think is the easiest. So literally the bicarbonate of soda is going to help to break down the chicken while you wait. So the reason why I had to start with the chicken is because I need to let this sit for about 20 minutes or so to get it nice and soft. But you can see I've got very little chicken in here, and obviously if you're going to be making for 2 people, it's also going to be very little, so you're not going to need a lot of time. But basically up to 20 minutes you should be okay with the baking soda or the bicarbonate of soda working on the chicken, and then you can put it aside while you put everything else together. So next in line, I'm making the actual sauce for my stir fry. Now you find a lot of sauces or recipes about stir fry sauces that are very intricate. There's a lot involved, that's a lot of products or a lot of ingredients, but mine is not really that heavy. I've just actually got some soy sauce, I have some brown sugar, and the reason I'm using this is because I normally use honey, and for some reason I seem not to have it. And then I've got, so obviously you can use that as a replacement, and then I've got some cornstarch. So the cornstarch in the sauce is going to help to thicken the sauce when you're actually cooking, when you've put the sauce in the stir fry and you've actually begun the cooking process. So what that's going to do is it's going to help the soy sauce to adhere to the other food stuff. So it's going to help it adhere to the vegetables or the meat or even the pasta like I'm doing today, you'll see. Don't get confused, you'll see it. Or the noodles like you would be doing if you've got any noodles. So literally I'm going to be pouring the soy into a little bowl that's going to allow me to be able to mix. And you can see how deep my soy sauce is. Now, something that you probably don't know about me is I'm gluten intolerant. So I had to go and find soy sauce that is gluten free. It was a bit difficult to find, but this one is, and the color is a bit deeper than the normal one because I suppose that's what the gluten-free one looks like. But also what I find with the gluten-free one is that it's much more saltier. Even if it's low sodium, it's still much more saltier. So what I normally do is I like to then dilute it a little bit with some water. That works for me. If you have the same issues as me, that might work for you as well. If not, and you're using the normal one, you should be okay. And then I've got, remember, my brown sugar, who is my substitute for the honey. And then I've got the cornstarch. Maybe I should have a teaspoon. Scoop out the cornstarch, put it in the mix, and now we mix. And here's the little bit of water I told you about, and that is now fully mixed. You can put it aside. Now the next process is all going to be happening on the stove top. So that's where we're going to need to go. But a quick recap. We've done the chicken, a little bit of a marinade with a baking soda. We've done the sauce, completely put together and mixed, ready. And the vegetables I had pre-cut. But you are going to cut your vegetables while you wait for your chicken to marinate, right? It makes better sense. I should have thought of that. But anyway, you're going to do that now. And now we're going to move on to the stove and put together the stir fry. Okay, I'm using a pan. You can also use any pan. If you've got a wok, I would really highly recommend that you use a wok. But my wok is very big, and I'm not going to use such a big wok because then I have to clean it. Not doing that. So I'm actually just using a normal pan. It's a non-stick pan, so at least the cleaning is going to be a little less. So yeah, now I'm going to start with stir frying my vegetables. The important thing is you put the vegetables, or the harder vegetables, or the ones that take longer to cook, try and put them in first. It'll make it much easier for yourself. So what you need to do is you need to wait for the oil to be really hot. That way, when the vegetables go in, you're going to get that sizzle. Because remember, we are doing a stir fry, so you need that sizzle to make sure that you're still going to get the right type of crunch and the right amount of heat on the vegetables, so you get the actual crunch. Because we don't want to stew them or saute them. No, that's not what we're doing. We're stir frying, so we want it to be very hot, so you can have that sizzle when you put them in. And the other thing that I need to highlight is whenever you're making a stir fry, don't put in too much stuff in the pan, because that is where a lot of times a stir fry turns into a stew. Because remember, if you've got too much stuff in the pan, you're actually going to start to stew whatever it is that you're putting in there. So as you can see, I've actually just portioned mine properly to ensure that I don't have a stew at the end of this possible stir fry. There's a little bit of a sizzle. Wherever there's oil, we're going to have a sizzle. Okay, and I have a few seconds to talk about the oil. So the oil that I'm using, I'm actually using the normal sunflower oil. I'm not using olive oil. I never use olive oil for, I'm sure, do you want me to show the people? It's just normal sunflower oil. If you have canola or any other vegetable or nut oil, it will work perfectly. Because remember, when we're stir frying, we want the heat to be very high. Now, olive oil will start to burn if you know subjected to very high heat. And also, you know, that color changing thing that it does, we don't want that. So we're just going to use normal alpha sunflower. You can use any vegetable oil. So the stir fry I'm making is going to be able to feed, like I said, 2 very hungry people. Maybe I should say 2 very greedy people, because that's who's in this kitchen. I said the 2 of us. So we're not gonna let it go for too long. Then we are going to go in with the broccoli. Remember guys, I'm using what I have. Remember, that is what we've agreed to, especially during this lockdown. We use what we have. So the important thing is the vegetables that you have, just make sure that you save them or are able to use them before they go off. So whatever you have, chop that up and put it in your stir fry. And as you can hear, you can still hear the sizzle, which means that the heat's still very high, and that's what we want. We just want that lovely constant sizzle and the lovely heat that is going to make the food nice and fried. Okay. You did realize that I put in the broccoli from scratch, right? It was not blanched in water. It wasn't boiled off in water. Nothing. It was really from scratch. And that's because of that crunch that I am so much after. Because I want it to still have the crunch, but then be cooked properly also. Because, you know, we like food to be cooked properly. And then the other thing that is very, very important to me is how long you cook vegetables determines how they look. So if you overcook your veggies, really honestly, you see the color starts to go, and we don't want any of that. But if you have a look on here, you'll see the broccoli will start to develop that lovely bright green, although we haven't blanched it and you know there hasn't been any water involved. So basically all we want to do is to get these nice and covered. And then we're going to take it off because now I need to start with the chicken. Okay, now we've taken the veggies out. I'm going to put a little bit of oil again. Guys, work out your little bit and my little bit, because as you can see, my little bit is like quite a lot. And then while I let the oil just reheat again, or just get hot all the way, I just want to talk about the chicken a little bit. Remember, we put the bicarbonate of soda in the chicken to just let it break down the chicken to make it soft, right? This is a very important step that you need to remember. So once you have done that, you need to very thoroughly rinse your chicken. Now, when I say thoroughly, I mean absolutely rinse it. I mean, put it in a colander, put it under running water for as long as you need to ensure that the bicarbonate comes out. And the reason for that is because bicarbonate of soda tastes like soda and not the kind we like. So you're gonna have that little stumpy taste onto your chicken if you don't rinse it properly. It's very easy to do, but just do it properly. Okay? And now we are going to go on with the rest of the stir fry. Again with the sizzle. Remember, sizzle is good. And then just try and separate your chicken, because we want every single piece to brown a little, to be perfectly fried. And in with the chicken, I'm going to be putting some ginger and garlic. Now, if you've got crushed garlic, like I do, I have loads of it, use that. It is absolutely not a problem. If you've got fresh garlic, however, what I suggest you do with the fresh garlic is that you slice it. So if you use fresh garlic, slice it. That way it's going to be easier, much easier for you to use in the stir fry. But if you've got crushed garlic like I do, use that. Because all the garlic is going to help with is the flavoring of your stir fry. But first slice. And then I've also got ginger. It looks like a lot, but remember it's for the flavoring, so we want it. So I've just flipped the chicken around, and as you can see, we've got the lovely brown bits over there. This lovely smell of ginger and garlic, the aromatics, it's a really, really good smell. It's something that I want you to experience as well. And now I'm going to put the veggies back in. Remember we took the veggies out, putting them back in. Then I've got some spring onion that I had on the plate. I'm just going to put some in here. Mix everything together. This is already looking and smelling absolutely divine. But we've still got a few steps to go. Now, I don't know if you remember earlier I said something about using my spaghetti instead of my noodles. Now, I made spaghetti last night and I had a lot left over. Let's just say it was accidental. But anyway, I'm going to be using it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you've got noodles, then use your noodles. Just remember to follow the package's instructions to make sure that your noodles are nice and perfect and that they're not too soft, because we don't want them to break in the stir fry. But as you can see, the amount of noodles I'm putting in here, are you starting to catch my vibe with the two greedy people thing? Because it's actually quite a lot. So once I've put that in, it's time for my sauce. So remember the soy sauce with the brown sugar and the cornstarch is back. And now we're just gonna put the sauce in, put that away, and immediately what you see is the sauce immediately starts to change everything. So everything starts to get that brown hue. That I was actually tempted to say golden brown, but this is deeper than gold, man. Immediately you're getting that brown hue and that look, and as you can hear, you've got that sizzling going down, right? It's becoming a bit more of a grunt now. Because remember, we've got sugar inside our sauce. So now we've got, instead of frying, we've got caramelization. See what I did there? Yeah. So now we're going to get everything in the pan lovely and caramelized. Remember I said that my soy sauce is extra salty, so we are getting seasoning as well. And as you can see, this is actually really, really pretty, guys. Really pretty. I can't stop moving it around, but what you need to do is to just let the noodles, or in my case, the spaghetti, drink up some of the sauce. So just let it drink it up a little bit, and while that happens, remember the cornstarch in the sauce is going to start to thicken the sauce itself. So that's what you're going to get, covering all of the lovely veggies and the chicken as well as your spaghetti. And here we are. Wow, this is a lot. I'm literally just trying to do this right, man. I'm just trying to be nice and eat with my eyes and all that good stuff. Do I have to pour the whole thing? The whole thing? Okay, so are you starting to see what I meant about that whole two greedy people thing? Maybe I should have had 2 plates. Let's do this, because this is a lot. And now I've just left over some green or spring onions that I'm just gonna hoy on. I'm going to say it's garnish, but actually I just want them on there. Thank you very much for watching, and just remember to subscribe so you can get to see all the other lovely recipes that we're making. And if you like the video, please just leave a comment and let me know what you like the most about it and how you make your stir fries different. Thank you very much, and bye!